finish him off. Time, no backward. McCarthy says, don't push. There's the right hand. Hampshire is down. He will not get up. This one is all over.
At times, the knockouts were swift. An up-and-coming heavyweight contender, Jerry Cooney, battered an aged Ken Norton in the historic confines of Madison Square Garden.
And another left hand scores it again. The legs of Norton wobble. Norton has heard his own corner. Cooney trying to measure him. Misses two uppercuts, but scores with combinations of left hands. Norton straight up. Norton is about to drop. Norton is on his knees and finally slumps in the corner. He is not going to get up from this. The fight is over in 54 seconds.
Others came with electrifying suddenness. Donald Curry seemed in control of his fight with junior middleweight champion Mike McCallum until this.
There was the right again, right up over the top.
McCullers is standing directly in front of Donald. That's why he's being hit. He needs to give some hand movement, left and right, side to side. He's not giving angles at all. He's directly in front of Donald.
And there is a left hand by Mike McCallum that came out of the blue and put Donald Curry on his back. It's all over, and Mike McCallum is the champion. A classic one-punch knockout.
A shooting star like middleweight champion Michael Nunn was considered legitimate only when he handled another champion, Sumbu Kalambe, in one round and with one punch. It's been a jabbing contest so far with the early edge to Nunn. And down goes Sumbu Kalambe after a major league left inside by Nunn. And Michael Nunn answers a lot of doubters about his punching power. One solid left hand put Kalambe to sleep. And every once in a while, a championship heart can turn the charismatic stylist into a knockout artist.
Finch is holding on and is on rubber legs. There is no question about that. But he has not taken a backward step. There's a right hand again to the side of the head, but Finch stays up. And another right hand, and a left hand sends him backwards, and the legs are gone on first mitts. Finch just trying to get some air, get some breath. It's all over. It is all over, and wisely so.
Is badly hurt, and Ray will try to finish him off right here.
Orlando would grab on hold for dear life.
Big right hand by Leonard. Lalonde staying up only through the force of will.
Will he get up again and stop in the bout?
I don't think he'll get up anymore. That is it.
trap sprung shut, the sudden, sometimes shocking climax to a drama. There's also a downside to knockouts, the disappointment of endings so close to beginnings. Thank you, Mike Tyson. But knockouts distinguish boxing from other sports. When the Cincinnati Reds scored 14 runs in the first inning, it was a knockout. But they played on. They should have stopped it. There's something else that distinguishes boxing, its wide range of crazy controversies. You'd think that in a sport that's so elemental, so basic, one man against one man, that there'd be a finite limit to the kinds of controversies it spawns. Not so. As the late, great Gilda Radner would put it, there's always something.
In November 1982, Alexis Arguello was a lightweight champion vying for Aaron Pryor's junior welterweight title. Few fights have equaled the fury of that memorable night in Miami, and few have equaled the controversy which soon surrounded Pryor.
Well, this fight so far is exactly as all the promotional releases have said. That's a rarity. I've seen it a couple of times, once in your fight with Tommy Hearns, but it is rare that a fight lives up to the press clippings. So far, this one has, albeit it is early. Arguello fighting off the ropes and fighting very effectively off the ropes. Arguello got the better of that exchange.
You're the boss, don't you? Give me a trick that I mix. One that I mix, Lucy Cook. Mix it. Cross up. Now, you're the boss now. Roll!
Combination by Arguello again. The uppercut and the overhand right. Back with another overhand right. Pryor smiles at him at the bell.
Well, he's right thinking also.
There's a right hand snap to him back, and Pryor is hurt.
Give me that ball. That's the one I mix.
Pryor with a jab and a combination again. And Arguello's in trouble. Arguello in big trouble against the ropes. Pryor going for the kill, trying to put him away. Arguello trying to cover up. A smashing right hand. Arguello's helpless against the ropes. Arguello's hand to the side. It's over. Aaron Pryor has retained his junior welterweight championship. Arguello slumps to the canvas.
The next day, newspapers around the country documented the ingredients of the bottle that Panama Lewis had mixed for Aaron Pryor. It was the first hint of what came next, Pryor's pathetic downward spiral over the next 5 years. Months later, Weightgate rocked Washington, D.C. Eddie Mustafa Muhammad weighed in over the light heavyweight limit in his challenge of Michael Spinks. That touched off a day of chaos.
We've just been officially notified by Mr. Norman Fishbein, who is the manager of record of Mr. Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, that he has not made the weight.
I know the deal. I know how they mess with the scales. You know, I know what the deal is, because I've been in boxing too long.
If ever in the history of boxing, there was a scale that was properly calibrated, it had to be this scale.
You think the people coming to see you promote a fight, Chuck? You out of your mind. They come to see us fight. Remember that. Let's go for it. I'm tired of this for rubber. I'll fight you a non-title fight. I signed a contract saying I'll fight Michael Spinks 10 rounds.
I went through all the procedures of preparing myself, mental adjustments, physical adjustments, and I didn't see why Eddie Mustafa couldn't do the same.
The door shut on Eddie Mustafa Muhammad as he never got another shot at the title. This welterweight championship doubleheader was billed as double trouble. For once, a boxing title proved meaningful. WBC welterweight champion Lloyd Hunnigan was having no trouble through 5 rounds with challenger Young Kil Chung. But not even Hunnigan could have forecast this bizarre ending. Step inside and go back to the body to begin round 5. Low blow. Chung agonized on the canvas for 5 excruciating minutes. Finally, Hunnigan was awarded the victory. While the visiting Koreans protested the final decision, the eerie night of July 29 had still another surprise in store. The other welterweight champion performing that night was Marlon Starling. He, too, is having it all his way through 6 rounds, until the challenger, Colombia's Tomas Molinares, launched a missile. That punch was clearly after the bell, and Starling is being counted out. 8, 9, 10. Unbelievable. With one of the lucky punches of all time, and in my view, Larry, clearly after the bell.
Do I look knocked out? Do I look like I'm wobbled?
Well, you only have to be knocked out for 10 seconds.
I wasn't knocked out. I wasn't knocked down.
It was a night only Marlon Starling would soon forget.
Judge Dave Moretti scores 143, 142. Judge Harold Letterman scores 143, 142. And Judge Larry Waller scores 145, 142. For the winner, by unanimous decision, and new IBF heavyweight champion of the world, Michael Spinks.
The upset of Larry Holmes by light heavyweight champion Michael Spinks forced an immediate rematch.
And he's out of the corner very quickly.
Well, he's doing just that now, Barry. He's going right at Michael.
He bends down, goes to the left hook, come back to the right hand. If it's a left hook, it's going to bring him up.
I'm making it work, too. You got to go to work. I know, I'm trying.
And there was a right hand by Holmes, and Spinks is in a world of trouble right now.
Good right hand. Now
Great
what?
shot by Holmes.
This is when God gets his man out of there.
Spinks is all but out. Holmes looking for the one finisher. Spinks trying to fight off the ropes. 10 seconds, there'll be no knockout in this fight.
Stick it there, go to work.
It's over for the winner by a split decision, and still the IBF.
And I can say to the judges, the referees, the promoters, the kids where the sun don't shine. And since we're on HBO, that's my big black behind.
That controversial decision and post-fight interview with Larry Holmes provided us with yet another chapter in boxing's ongoing human drama. Another reminder of how much is at stake for men who have in so many instances climbed up from the worst of social circumstances, toiled for years in sweaty gyms, sacrificing privacy and pleasure, only to see the decisions which most affect them rendered in a purely subjective arena by judges who are all too often all too human. Still, amid all the insecurity and uncertainty, there are moments of transcendent human achievement, and we've witnessed more than our share of those in this decade of the 80s. Again, let's look back.
Sugar Ray Leonard. Thomas, the Motor City Cobra. Hearn, 15 rounds of boxing. Ray gets inside, left hand, Hearn, backs him up. Hearn's with another one with another left hand, and a right hand to the head. And Hearn slams her wobbling. Ray going back. Good left hook, good uppercut left hook. Once more, Hearn's back up. Hearn is hurt. Against the ropes, and he is hurt.
Well, you ain't punching, man. I'm telling you, I'm going to have to stop it if you don't punch.
And Leonard taking 2 quick shots. Comes right back with a left hand of his own.
You got 9 minutes.
You're blowing it now, son. You're blowing it. You better be quicker. You got to take it away from him, okay?
Good right hand by Leonard. That hurt. Hearn has to tie him up or
Leonard
something.
now is going for the whole boat. Hitting him with combinations. Leonard is giving everything he's got. Hearn starts down, but grabs, and now goes down through the ropes. Trying to go downstairs this way, Leonard. Hearn's just trying to hang on here. Left hand again, and that's all. It's over. Just yourself at all times. Understand that. Shake hands, then get it on. Here's your fight. And Cooney took a good right hand from Holmes. He staggers and is down. Cooney is down from a right hand by Larry Holmes.
You got to move in and rough this guy. You got to move in.
Like 4 years, you deserve it. Ain't nobody deserving more than you, Tim. That was quite the respect. And Cooney's legs are really wobbly.
He's really gone now. He's really gone.
Cooney very wobbly in the center of the ring. Takes another right hand. Holmes knows he has his man in trouble. Another right hand. And that eye is really opened up. Combinations of punches thrown by the champion against Jerry Cooney. This one is all but over. Cooney against the rope. Bill's Lane steps in. He did not really go down. Victor Valley. And Victor Valley is saying no more, I believe. Victor Valley is in the ring saying no more. That's it. It is over.
Larry Holmes. Introducing Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Introducing the man with the hands of stone, Roberto Duran.
And there was a left hand. Durant says, no, I'm not hurt. It did stagger him. Hagler the right. A left behind that. Blood now coming from the eye. It will definitely bother Marvin Hagler, who comes back with a combination. Pumping us underneath, bleeding from above. Don't worry about nothing. Don't worry about the cut of nothing. That's right. The bell can save a fighter in the 15th round. If you want an editorial on this fight, let the crowd give it to you.
And still, the undisputed middleweight champion of the ring, Marvelous Marvin Hagler.
Burns working that jab. He has a very quick jab. There's no denying it. And he caught Hagler with 2 good jabs and a right hand that might have hurt Hagler. Tremendous pace in the first round.
I expected this, Barry. Both guys are going at it.
Burns getting the better of it right now.
There has been no boxing at all, just fighting here.
Just slugging. Blood on the face of Marvin Hagler. Again, we can't quite tell where it's coming from while Hagler continues to dish out punishment. And now Hearns bounces right back. This may be the most brutal, even round you've ever seen in boxing.
Let him go.
A lot of blood on the face of Marvin Hagler. And let's see if he just doesn't try to do some serious business or just get through. That jab of Hearns is effective, even though he's throwing it off the back foot. A good right hand by Hagler drives Hearns into the ropes once more.
Tommy can't take too much of this. And again, it's a matter of accumulation of punches thrown by Hagler, which is probably where Tommy's down.
I'm sure Marvin feels that he has got to hurry things up here because that cut is not going to get any better. There's no question about it. Right hand sends Hearns. He doesn't know where he is. Hagler goes in for the kill now.
He's gone. He's gone.
He's down, and he may be out. I'm not sure he can make it. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And he's up at 9. He doesn't know where he is. It's over. This one is history. Marvin Hagler, a tremendous victory. And he wound up and hit him to the stomach. And that more than got Leonard's attention. Ray Leonard is hurt in the corner. Leonard's left hand down at his side. Hagler peppering him. Leonard now tries to fight off the ropes. Combinations of punches. And now it's Hagler who backs off. 3 minutes! Yeah! Come on, baby! We got 3 one more round of fight. So you better! New champion! New champion! The crowd chanting Sugar Ray. instructions in the dressing room. Are there any questions by either of you?
You see the tactics used by Michael Spinks now. He's throwing his jab, but he has to keep those hands extremely high. Watch for the uppercuts, too.
Tyson landed a left hand in close quarters, and now Cappuccino goes to work again. Tyson not afraid, as we expected, and Spinks ready to mix it up with him. Tyson along the ropes doing damage.
Michael Spinks has to keep moving because every shot...
Uppercut landed inside, and Spinks went down. It was a left uppercut.
I was surprised there was a body shot that put him to the canvas.
And that is the first time Michael Spinks has ever been down in a professional fight.
And he's down again and in serious trouble. A right hand right on the chin.
6, 7, 8. He's not going to make it. It's all over.
To Johnny. Right hand by Hearns, and Leonard is stopped in his tracks. Hearns gains confidence and knocks Leonard down. Right left, and now it is Hearns who wobbles against the rope. A tremendous left hook following the right hand by Ray Leonard.
And now Hearns is holding on for dear life, which is something he didn't do in the first fight.
A right and a left. Leonard just missing with and a right land. Hearns in a lot of trouble with a long way to go in this round.
Listen to me, Verica, you got to come out and let your shots go. Try to get this man out of here this round, okay?
Right now, he is a Ray Leonard, in all likelihood, trailing on points in the closing minutes against Tommy Hearns. He's been in that position once before. Oh, a solid right hand by Hearns. Spectacular right cross, and Leonard is in trouble again.
And Ray Leonard had a look on his face there that I had never seen before. There is no quit in either of these great warriors. And Ray Leonard do it.
So the decade began for HBO with Leonard Hearns 1 and ends with Leonard Hearns 2. And Ray, I guess it would be pointless to ask about which of the two fights you would have the fondest memories.
Jim, that's a tough question. But if I had to choose one, I would honestly say the first fight.
I'm startled. I'm absolutely shocked. If you were looking back 20 years from now with a grandson or a granddaughter on your lap, which of your fights up to this point would most stand out as a proud memory for you?
That's an easy one, Jim. The fight with Marvelous Marvin Hagler, because that was a fight that proved so many people wrong, and it felt great.
Well, it proved a lot of people wrong, and it proved a lot of people right, too, who believed that you could do exactly what you said you would do. A lot of thrills for everybody in boxing. Larry Merchant, what about your final reflections after 12 years of covering fights for HBO? Which moments stand out most for you?
Well, aside from some of Ray's fights and watching Marvin Hagler grow up on HBO and Larry Holmes' many fights, I would say that two fights stick out for me. One was Holmes when he defeated Cooney. There were a lot of doubters about Larry Holmes. I thought he was an outstanding fighter, and he fought such a beautifully controlled, furious fight then. And the other fight would be one of uncontrolled fury, and that would be Hagler and Hearns.
Unforgettable.
For 8 minutes they went at each other, and I don't think anybody who saw it took a breath the entire time.
Not an easy choice, incidentally, because there have been so many great moments. We at HBO have been privileged to cover some of the greatest warriors and some of the greatest figures in the sport over the years. And on your behalf, as well as ours, we salute them all and thank them for the moments they've given us. We'll see you at ringside.